Welcome back to the 1090 podcast. I'm here with Magdalena, Corey, Jax. Magdalena, what do you go by?
I go by Maggie.
Maggie, like The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
Corey goes by Corey. Jax. Jax, this episode is sponsored by your banana smushmallow. Is that what we decided?
Yeah.
Does he have a name?
His name is Tweedledee, and Tweedledum is... They're
the
conjoined
gorilla.
twins. They're conjoined twins, so they each take turns. This is the happy side, and he's the mad side.
Yeah. Jax, how old are you?
10.
10. And Jax has been diagnosed with, help me out with the correct term.
Osteosarcoma.
Osteosarcoma. And Jax, this might sound weird, but like, we started messaging a couple weeks ago, Maggie?
Yeah. I think when he relapsed, July.
Yeah, I had a relapse. And so I heard about your story a couple weeks ago, and I just can't get you out of my head, dude. I wake up in the mornings and think about you and how you're doing. And you're very inspiring. I think about you a lot. If Jax can get out of bed today, then I can get out of bed today. So Jax, I don't know if you know anything about me, but just so you know, my family was in a car accident. And so my wife died, my son Riggins died, and my daughter Frankie died. My wife's name was Courtney. I don't know why I didn't say her name. And then my brother Race died, and my nephew Ryder died as well. Ryder, the same name as your brother. And that made me really sad and upset and angry. And so I started a podcast, and I invite the coolest people I can find to be on my podcast. And you're definitely one of them. So in our intro today, Jax, I'm going to ask you some would you rather questions. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
They're going to be pretty easy, I think. Well, maybe not, because I got some information about you from your parents. I know you like Legos. I know you like Minecraft. So hopefully I found some. Jax, you like Would You Rather? You played Would You Rather? Okay, so real quick. Would you rather have the worst breath in the world, or everyone you talk to has the worst breath in the world?
Neither one of those. I don't want either one of those.
Yeah, me neither, but you got to pick one. What are you rolling with? Maggie, what about you?
I think that I'd rather have the worst breath.
You're a
No,
trooper.
because then you have to smell it all the time.
You're a teacher too. Like 26 third graders with terrible breath all day.
They're short though. They don't get that close.
Your
to
job's tough enough.
Yeah.
Corey, what are you doing?
I'm taking it on.
You got the worst breath ever.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that's a quick example. Are we ready, Jax?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Would you rather go to Disneyland or Lagoon?
Disneyland.
Okay. What's your favorite ride at Disneyland?
Splash Mountain.
Splash Mountain. What about Pirates of the Caribbean?
I love that one too.
But why is Splash Mountain better, you think?
Splashes.
Okay.
Yeah, like, what am I even saying? Oh, that's hard to argue. What about the Guardians of the Galaxy one where it drops you?
I've never been on that one.
You never been on that one? It's pretty good. Lagoon. I'm a Lagoon guy. You guys hate Lagoon?
Well,
I actually think Lagoon's better than Disneyland.
But if you like roller coasters, I think. I don't like roller coasters.
It's bold. I'm a Disney guy personally.
All right, yeah.
But we just went to Lagoon and it was pretty sick.
Lagoon, the lines are just way shorter.
So much shorter.
But there's not alcohol outside of the restaurant, so it's a lot different to be like, you know.
Great.
Oh.
What, you think I'm nicer when I buy you guys stuff when I drink there?
They're like, let's get mom a drink. And then
Yeah, but
Jax, other than Disneyland, where else do you like to visit? What are some of your favorite places to visit?
Kanab. Because that's where my grandma Nana lives, my great grandma Nana. And she's the best.
What do you do in Kanab?
we go on adventures. We play with the toys in a toy box, which is shaped like a treasure chest.
No way. That sounds awesome. Kanab, Utah. So would you rather go to Kanab or Disneyland?
Kanab.
Whoa!
To visit family.
Just made your parents happy. You just saved them a bunch of money.
So
That's
much.
awesome. Yeah.
To visit family.
All right, next question. Are you ready? You crushed that one, by the way. You did so good. All right, here we go. Would you rather have a dog or a cat?
Dog.
A dog.
Cats are mean.
They are kind of mean. How many? You have some dogs?
Like Ryder. Yeah, we have some dogs.
Ryder is Jax's brother that he just pointed to, by the way. You had to see it happen.
He's mean.
So how many dogs do you
Kind
have
of,
besides
sometimes.
Ryder? Besides Ryder, how many dogs do you have?
2.
And what are their names?
Pop-Tart and Nesta.
Pop-Tart and Nesta. And are these big dogs, little dogs? What are these?
Pop-Tart's a big dog and Nesta, she's medium, but Pop-Tart's bigger than her.
Who named Pop-Tart?
Me. He named Nesta. Dad named Nesta.
Pop-Tart's your dog, though.
I think a baby.
Yeah. You say that to her all the time when she's naughty.
I
Well, to
love the
Corey.
I think a baby.
What's your favorite flavor of Pop-Tart?
That's a hard one.
That is a hard one.
Strawberry.
I was going to say strawberry. What about birthday cake? You ever had that one, Pop-Tart version? It's a little intense, but it's pretty good.
I would like that.
Do you put Pop-Tarts in the toaster, or do you just open it and go?
Just open it and go.
You're an open it and go guy. Do you know what I do to Pop-Tarts?
What?
I break off all the edges where there's no, frosting on it.
Yeah, I don't
And
like the edges.
Yeah. You break those off too, or no?
I don't.
You keep them on. That's where the nutrients are. Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I ate a Pop-Tart. I just remember the flavors.
I don't remember the last time.
Blueberry and strawberry were the first ones I ate.
Okay.
Ryder did too.
I got another would you rather question. You ready?
Yeah.
Would you rather watch a movie or go to school?
Movie.
Really? What are some movies you like?
I have a whole list of them.
I'm a big movie guy, so please take your time. I love learning
Okay.
about new movies.
One of my favorite movies is Series of Unfortunate Events, the movie, not the show on Netflix.
A series of unfortunate events. I read all those books when I was in elementary school. I don't think I've seen a movie though, but I read all the books. Lemony.
Snickies.
Lemony Snickets.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Corey with the assist. Yeah, I forgot about those. What was the one? There was another book series like Boxcar Kids.
Yeah.
You guys remember those ones?
Yeah, it was like the mystery ones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got into those a little bit.
It's like Nancy Drew, but for boys.
Okay, what other movies you like?
I like the movie Chicken Run, number 1 and number 2. I think number 1 is a little bit better than number 2.
Claymation one. That one's classic. I forgot about Chicken Run. Have you ever seen the movie The Iron Giant? Okay, give that one a go. Oh, you like karate, don't you? Okay, I don't know if this is a good movie to recommend to a 10-year-old, but the greatest karate movie ever.
Cobra Kai?
What? You might be right. I forgot about Cobra Kai.
I watched Cobra Kai, and I wasn't traumatized, and I was like 7.
What do they say in Cobra Kai? What's their saying? Hit? Hit? No, it's like strike the bad guys. What's their saying? Like strike hard, strike first, strike. You don't
I don't
remember?
know.
Me and my wife Courtney, we loved Cobra Kai. We binged watched that one. Not what I was gonna say though. Okay, your parents. I don't know. This is gonna be on them, but the movie Kill Bill is a great
I've never
karate
seen
movie.
it. I've never seen it.
Okay, maybe watch it without him at first. Like there might be some spots you want to fast forward, but
A few.
it's a great karate movie. You might love it or not. It might traumatize you.
Beverly Hills Ninja is definitely
Oh yeah,
something I think you could watch at this point.
I forgot about that one.
That's a good
the
one.
Chris Farley one.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah.
So you'd rather watch a movie than go to school? Me too. But you do go to school. What do you like about school? What are some of your favorite things?
Lunch, math, and science.
Wow,
Mostly lunch.
you're a brainiac. You like math. I'm terrible at math.
It hurts my wrist, but I kind of like it.
It hurts your wrist, like all the writing and carrying the one over and stuff.
And science is my favorite because you learn about new stuff every day. And lunch is my favorite because food.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Because of
I think
food.
that's everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Bill Nye the Science Guy? Oh, that was like who taught me science growing up.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a fail on our part.
But Bill Nye. That's a little bit of a fail on our part.
It doesn't keep them engaged anymore. I tried
Really?
to put it on, and they
Bill Nye and Reading Rainbow.
reading Rainbow. That's a
You
good
guys
one.
remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That was my education.
And Wishbone. Wasn't Wishbone like books?
Retelling of stories.
Yeah.
Loved Wishbone.
What about Blue's Clues?
Great one.
love
Don't get me
Blue's Clues.
started on Blue's Clues.
You like that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Blue's Clues is still going?
It's a variation.
It's the cousin now.
Yeah,
'Cause he went to college.
they've got a few
Oh.
different variations of it. It's not the original Steve and Blue combo.
Yeah. Steve is gone.
Jax,
I'm mad.
wait, what?
I'm mad that Steve is gone.
Oh, the Blues Clues guy? Jax, I was going to ask you, you got friends at school? How many?
Like 10.
That's
a lot.
That's a lot of friends. They like you?
They're my friends.
Yeah, that was a stupid question. Man.
I have a friend named Armand. He calls me JJ, and it's already spreading.
Why does he call you JJ?
I don't know. It's just short.
Yeah, Jackson. Cool.
Jackson Ray Christensen. Somewhere there's another J in there.
Yeah, we got to figure out that other J. He's not telling us. He's keeping it from us. All right, you ready for another question?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather play with Legos or play Cult of the Lamb?
Cold and lamb.
What? I don't know what this is. What is this game? Why do you like playing it so much? I heard I'm going to love the answer.
Because you could just do random stuff, and it's funny because it's 2-player now. Ryder is Lambert, and I am Goaty. And we just do random stuff.
Tell them what you do to your followers.
Oh, we feed them.
What do you feed them?
I
Say
don't
it,
want to
Jax.
answer that. I don't want to answer that because it's
Say
either
it,
poo or
Jax.
cannibalism.
Poo or cannibalism? Yeah, neither of those are good.
I would rather eat poo.
That's a good would you rather right there.
Let's go straight into
Yes,
that.
yeah, this is a good, yeah. So would you rather cannibalism or poo? This is where we are.
Poo. I don't want to eat
Somehow
another
I'm proud of
person.
that answer, though.
Kind of the same thing if you really think about it. All right, we need to get out. We need a new question.
Ew. Ryder, you eat poo?
Okay. I'm done with the would you rathers, but I got 8 more questions for you. And then you guys can go play with your toys and I'll talk to your parents for a little bit. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Or we can talk about whatever else you want to talk about if you want to. Okay, last few questions here. Why should everyone watch Five Nights at Freddy's?
Blood and murder. I mean murder. Blood and murder.
Yeah, you're gonna love Kill Bill.
Yeah. this is starting to sound like it.
Corey's like, yeah, this could work out.
Murder.
Murder. Is that you and Ryder? Is that how you say murder or what? Murder.
Yeah. It's
Man, I feel like I'm gonna start saying that on my ride home today or something. Like that's gonna get stuck. Murder. Next question. Well, I guess we should give some context here because you love karate, but then because of your illness. You had to get your leg amputated, right? And when did that happen? When did that procedure happen?
I don't remember.
September.
Last September.
Last September, so we're coming up on a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I struggle with months and dates, but
Tell me about it.
yeah. Okay, Jax. What do you miss most about doing karate?
Hurting people.
Jaxen.
You know, this is
For
healthy.
self-defense only. For self-defense only.
Sure, good cover. Yeah.
You have to wear punching gloves
Yeah.
or either hit people with a pillow. And
So, like, if you were in the TV show Cobra Kai, which side would you be on? What are the two sides? We have the good side and the bad side. I don't remember the names, though.
good side.
You'd be on the good side. All right. Self-defense all the way. Unless it's Ryder, we can whip it out on Ryder whenever.
No,
Pretty much.
just pillows. So
No.
Sophie's the one that's going aggressive on him.
But listen, I grew up. I was the youngest of 5 kids, so like you got to just take your chances against the older ones. That's my advice.
Sneak shots. I'm a fan of the sneak shots. That's for sure.
All right, next question, Jax. You ready?
Yeah.
What is the coolest thing about each of your siblings?
I can't name one thing.
How about this? Let's just.
That's not the coolest.
Mm-hmm. Well, how many siblings do you have?
I have 3. Wait, so Sophie, the thing that's cool about her is that she has the imagination like me. Ryder also has the imagination like me, and Shaden, he kind of has the imagination like me, except there's more noises.
More murder.
Yeah.
More
Yeah, more Madurker.
So you're a You're an imaginative kid. What do you imagine? What do you imagine? What are you playing? What are you doing?
We play this thing called Biddy Adventures. And it's where they like goof off or do something exciting or do something interesting. And Biddy hates germs, and this is his voice.
All right. What is your... Ooh, we're getting deep here. You ready for this? What is your favorite thing about your life?
Family.
Oh,
Ohana.
oh, Hannah. There you go. That's my answer too. I think that's a good answer.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite memories from the past year?
Goat Simulator.
Goat Simulator.
Goat or ghost?
Goat.
So what is this?
It's where a goat just causes mayhem.
Yeah, it's a game that we played at the hospital a lot.
Okay.
And you're literally just I think it's a satanic goat. We aren't sure. But
What games are they playing at the hospital?
not even joking. And
What
you
can
just
we do for the kids at the hospital? Hey, I got a great game.
Yeah.
It's a satanic goat.
yeah, Goat Simulator 1, 2, and 3.
But there's no storyline. All
None.
you do is like run people over.
You get
Or-
It's like Grand Theft Auto, but for kids.
exactly. And you kind of get scored like Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So if you hit like a pedestrian,
Triple point.
yeah,
Wow, okay.
it's pretty wild. But you did love it.
I loved it.
It really
I went to the carnival and broke the Ferris wheel, and I didn't know you could do that.
it totally changed the vibes of that hospital stay. For sure.
Like this.
Jax, how long were you in the hospital? Or is that a bad question? Like which
Long time.
So
Like-
he's had like more than 30 stays. Yeah, more than 30
Oh,
stays.
man.
Yeah. And anywhere from 3 to 5 or 6 days at a time, depending on what we're there for.
We're over 100 days easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You a fan of hospitals, Jax?
What?
Do you like hospitals or no? But that game, I asked you one of your favorite memories, and you picked the hospital because that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just don't like sharp objects.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Except for the medicine I have to take where you just have to pile up my fat, then just poke it right there. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, you have to get shots a lot.
Just once a day.
No, every other day.
Every other day.
You have to take them in your stomach every time?
Yeah, like you gather up all this fat and then you poke a needle right here. It just feels like somebody's poking you like this.
So it's not too painful.
It's not painful at all.
Oh,
It's just poke
that's good.
and then we're done.
It's a lot better than what we had to do in the past, where it was he has a port, and everything that we had to do up to this point was all through the port, which sucks, right?
And then
Well-
he had to do a shot every time he ended chemo, and it like burns inside. So we could ice him, but it still didn't change the fact that it burned when it was injected. That was rough.
Wait, what was the thing that we figured out how to make it not hurt?
You screamed before?
No, not that.
Ice.
Ice and numbing cream. That's it. And we have to do we've done these 2 times. Are they called TC scans?
CT scans?
The medicine that makes me pee?
Oh,
Feel like I pee?
PET scans?
PET scans? My best friend Bennett warned me about that, and he was right. It does make you feel like you peed. But he didn't mention the burning throat.
Yeah,
It kind of burned like right here.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's not your fault. Banana would say that. It's everybody's fault. No, it's not.
I got a next question. You ready?
Yeah.
Is there something you wish more people understood about you? Or sorry, is there something you wish more people understood about what you're going through?
No. Because I feel like everybody would understand.
Understand what?
Understand that chemo is hard. Cancer is hard. Doctors are hard. Feeling sick is hard. Because when you do chemo, it makes you feel like you want to throw up, and sometimes you do.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about the chemo you've been through? You told me a little bit about it, but I like learning about it.
So the chemo we do makes me feel sick and not feel like I have to eat, which I really do. It's just my belly rumbles and I'm not in the mood to eat because I get heartburn sometimes. Which is unusual because I don't usually get it.
Do you remember before you were sick or had to go to the hospital?
Yeah.
What's something that you've learned now that you've been sick, or something that you're grateful for you didn't realize before?
I learned a lot and I can't pick one thing.
Because I don't think a lot of people do understand how hard it is for you and what you're dealing with in your day-to-day life. And Jax, I've only known you for maybe 45 minutes. But I watched you pull in and park with your family, and I watched you walk up here, and we've been chatting, and you're happy. You're laughing, and you're in the moment, and you're playing with Ryder, and you're just enjoying everything. But you have it so hard. And I just think that's so cool. And not most kids your age aren't going through anything that you're going through, and they have no idea what it's like. I don't know what it's like to go through chemo. But I think it's so cool the perspective you have and how resilient you are. I think it's really cool, Jax.
Thanks.
Yeah. Can I ask your mom and dad the same question?
Yeah.
What's something... I mean, we'll get into it more when I'm done asking Jax these questions. But, like, I don't know. Can you tell us something that you've learned watching... I mean, the feeling of hopelessness and just... Can you talk about that a little bit, too, maybe?
Yeah, well, like when you get diagnosed, initially, his chances, there was no spread. So we were thinking 76% survival, and you hope that you're in there. And then just like the worst stories like that you hear ends up being you. Nothing's working. And each time that you go to the hospital and it's not working, your chances are dropping. And I think that, like, I remember, and I know you know the Whatcotts, but I remember watching Nixon's story when he was a baby and when Jaxen was a baby. And, like, it hurts you, but then you can go on about your day. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, well, that sucks. That's so sad. And then all of a sudden it's you. And I guess I just never really thought twice about childhood cancer. Like, it would just be like, oh, it sucks. But now it's like all I think about, I guess.
Yeah, it's like with me before the car accident with my family, it's like, what did I even used to worry about or be upset about?
Right. It makes you think, like, I took everything for granted,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to you about this. We were grocery shopping, and it was like we were having a moment where he was, like, judging my olive selection or something. And for 5 minutes, we were just normal. And it's like, and when we said that, I was like, can you even remember what it was like before? Because
we're
now
worrying about olives. This is great.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, sorry, Corey, do you have something? Or
Nope. Just to live in the moment. Every
Yeah.
single day, my family is everything.
You can, I mean, Ryder's like in his shoulder. You got, I mean, you can tell your whole family, not one phone's been out this entire time with you guys. Like, you guys are really just taking the moment in.
Yeah.
Poor me, why me mentality is like always kind of frowned upon. Like, don't be the victim, don't ask those questions. I think it's a perfectly healthy, normal question to ask. Like, why me, why us? I ask myself that question every day, at least. And I think it's part of shock and denial. How are you guys as parents handling that? Like,
I think it
or
depends
like,
on the day.
do you ever get out of that mindset? Or like, how do you, like, what are some words you could help me? Like, how do I get out of that mindset, or maybe use those questions in a beneficial way? But I can't escape those questions in my own head. Is like, why did this happen to my family?
Yeah. See, and there's no right answer to that, honestly. But I think I was mad for a long time, and I was like, he's the sweetest kid. Like, there's such trash people. Like, why does it happen to him, right?
Yeah.
But then we were up at the hospital, and we would see, like, there's a baby up there that has a single mom. And so we see her doing chemo by herself. And I think about it, and I'm like, I wouldn't wish this on anybody else's kid, because at least I know that till the end, like, I can show him a good life, and like, he's loved, and he knows that, like, we're right there. You know what I mean? Like, we actually don't have it the worst that it could be. Like, I have to try and be grateful. I say the why me, and then I see people that have like a brain tumor that have 0% survival from diagnosis, and I'm like, okay, we at least have a fighting chance. Like,
Yeah.
I have to try and think of that. But there are moments where I'm just mad, and I am like in the pity party.
Yeah. Jax, I got one more question for you, and then you're off the hot seat.
Yeah.
Does that sound good? All right. Does it make you mad that you are sick and other kids are not sick?
No.
Doesn't make you mad? It makes me mad. So help me. How do I help me out? What, like, why aren't you mad?
Because I know that there are some kids out there that has worse treatments than I do. Like have worse cancers than I do, so I'm not mad at all. I just know that those kids are having a more worse time than me. A worser time than me.
All right, I lied. I'm going to ask you one more question.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst day of your life ever, like that was the worst day. 10 being this is the best day of my life. How happy are you today?
10.
You're a 10? That's awesome, buddy. Anything else you want to say before I kick you out with Ryder and you guys go tattoo each other downstairs or what?
And I beat him up, kind of.
That's up to Ryder.
Yeah, should I brought you?
And I love your Blink 182 shirt. It was a classic shirt.
Thanks.
And I love your hair.
Hey, we have the same hair.
Yeah, you're awesome, dude. Thanks for coming on. And honestly, dude, you're a hero. You're helping out so many. You help me out. Your parents are awesome. I hope you know that. You're one brave, tough kid, man. So thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for letting Jax be on. He's the youngest kid we've ever had on by far. What a brave kid.
That's pretty cool.
Why are kids so much more resilient than adults? Like what? He's so happy. What is it? Like
I can't put my finger on it.
I mean, we're all just like dead inside, like pretending like, oh, it'll be fine. Like, let's say something motivational, but like we're just done. And then these kids are just I wonder what it is.
I don't know, man.
But they got it.
Yeah. He carries me, that's for sure. That's not where my mindset is most of the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, are you just fucking just so mad?
Yeah.
Like, is that, like, there's probably so many emotions going through you, but is anger probably the guy in control most of the time?
I would say so.
It'd
Yeah.
have to be for me. Like, just, like, let's get back, like, the why me thing that I asked you in front of Jax. Like, really, like, I get stuck in that phase daily, and I have to work through it. And I like, Maggie, what you said is so true. Like, we had a guy come on the podcast that said, if not you, then who else? Like, if this didn't happen to you, who else would you want it to happen to? And obviously there's no good answer to that. And that's similar to what you said. Like, okay, we can't pass this card to any other family. Like, okay, but just trying to work on the acceptance. There's so much anger involved.
For sure.
And you guys, well, can we talk more about Jack's illness and what his current status is? And then maybe we can go from there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Want me to do it?
Give him a timeline, man.
Okay, they said we get these 5 nodules out and we have a 4-week scan. And if there are new nodules, then he probably has less than a year. And if he doesn't, then he probably has a year, which I think I told you. I don't agree with the timeline, but that's what they're saying. And I think it's just based off statistics. But
so, like, what I'm hearing is either way, we're looking around a year.
that's what the oncologist thinks. We're trying to get other opinions and stuff because the problem with being here, like Primary Children's is a really good hospital for like first line treatment.
Yeah.
But once they relapse, they don't really want to go outside of a protocol. And so I need a doctor's opinion of like someone that's outside the box, that they're just willing to throw whatever at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember when we had the Whatcotts on, and it was so long ago. But one of the tough things that I remember them dealing with is like they had these moments of hope, like, oh, like it looks like he's healing, he's recovering, and then and I know you guys experience this too, like there's this relapse, and it's just like,
yeah,
like riding that roller coaster. Like, how is it? Do you guys like hate hope almost? Are you scared of it, or do you just invite it because you're clinging on to it, or what is that? Or are you guys different?
I would say the hope thing, it's hit and miss. I try not to cling to it. Like, for instance, this last relapse was on the day he was supposed to ring the bell. Like, he was done with treatment. So it was a good day until it was a terrible day, you know? I was really hopeful that morning, and it just turned.
How long was he working at it to be able to ring that bell?
I mean, he was diagnosed June last year and has been doing chemo up until about 2 months ago.
Yeah, his last
When-
chemo was in June, so he did a whole year of chemo.
And then they ringing the bell relapse.
Yeah, because he never, so first line chemo, he relapsed before we even finished it. So he didn't get to ring the bell then. And then this was second line chemo. And so he finished all of it, but then he relapsed that day. And I could see it that you were super hopeful and it was like hard. Like you ran out of that room so fast.
Yeah, it's rough.
Why'd you run out of the room?
He didn't know yet, but we had seen the
Jax
scans.
didn't know yet?
Jax didn't know yet. And we were just there for like blood draws or whatever after the scans, just waiting to ring the bell. And it just hit me hard. I think I let my guard down with the hope stuff.
Like, yeah.
So now I got to, tread lightly with that.
Yeah. Especially because like we saw the x-ray and I can read the x-rays now. Like his leg x-ray, I was like, oh, there's no cancer in there. But we can't ever see the CT scans. Those just get uploaded.
Right.
So we were like, we knew that half of it was good, and we were just really hopeful for that other half.
Can you talk about like the first time you took him? I just reading your story on Instagram. He had pain in his bone, and so you took him in, and then you got the terrible news. Or can you walk us through like how you found out and like? Because for me, like, I just get a phone call, your family's dead. For you, like, hey, your son has can't, like, it just flips your world upside down. And I'd just like to hear
Yeah, for
how
sure.
you guys went through that.
Yeah. First of all, I want you to know that I think yours is much more in the moment, like gut punch. Like ours is gradual, right? Like you're a trooper. You amaze me. But so Jaxen started limping and he didn't even tell us that it hurt. He was just like hopping on one foot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know, it hurts. And it was like right on his tibia. And so that was like 1 week in June. And then I went on a work trip. I came back a week later and he had it again. He was hopping again. And I literally told you, I think he has cancer. He was like, no, it's probably growing pains. And my in-laws were like, it's growing pains.
That's what the Whatcotts thought it was too.
Yeah. And my mom, because we went to the same gym as the Whatcotts. We remember like the fundraising and everything. And she was like, you're just traumatized from their story. Like he doesn't have cancer, like you're just overthinking it. And I was like, well, I just want someone to tell me that I'm wrong.
That I'm crazy and I'm wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then the next day, like I scheduled an appointment. We had like a normal day. And then we went to the doctor. And we didn't see his regular doctor. We saw a nurse practitioner. And if she sees this, she's probably going to hate it. But she just kept looking at his leg and being like, well, I don't see anything. And I'm like, well, how would you see it you don't have x-ray vision? What do you mean you don't see anything? She's like, well, it could be Osgood-Schlatters. And I was like, no, because the back of his knee doesn't hurt. And then she said, I think maybe his patellas are rubbing. And I'm like, no, he's 9. They're barely coming in.
Yeah, the mother bear is coming out, and you're like, "What do we know?"
Yeah,
like,
I'm a weirdo, but
no.
and so
you're not weird.
she was like, "Do you just want an X-ray? Will that just make you feel better?" And I was like, "Yes." So then we get the X-ray at Riverton Hospital, and you were in the parking lot, and I think I was Googling all of the things, and I was like, "It sounds like osteosarcoma," and I was like, "But he can't have this, right?" Do you remember me texting you that?
I do.
And then by the time we got back home, they were like, there's something weird on the x-ray, but I think it's like 90% chance that it's a bone infection. And I was like, there's no way he doesn't have a cut. Like there's no, how would he get a bone infection like that, Like something so deep without having a wound. So then we get to the primary children's and they're asking all these weird questions that I just kind of knew. It was like, has he lost any weight? Has he had fevers? Has he been throwing up? Has he had nosebleeds? Like just things that you don't typically get asked that, And then by the time that they came in, like 4 hours later, they asked us to follow them. And that's when I knew it was bad. Because like if it was a bone infection, they would have said it in front of him, They were like, can you follow us? They said he had a mass and that we had to see an oncologist. And I wasn't sure if you knew what an oncologist was in that moment.
I don't know what it is.
It's a cancer doctor.
Okay.
So as soon as she said that, I was like, so is 100% like a cancerous tumor? Like there's no chance that it's just like a benign? And she's like, they're typically not. And now that I know what it looks like, she knew it was osteosarcoma. Like they all knew. They just have to tell us in a nice way, I guess, you know? That was rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did you know that it was?
At that moment when they were taking us to a different room, basically, just to tell us personally, not around everybody else in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just feel your body like go numb and your stomach drop. Type of thing.
Sweats, everything. Yeah, my body was in shock.
Yeah, I was
Complete
gonna ask you, like,
shock.
are you in shock and denial in the car ride home?
The whole entire thing was shock.
And then telling family and friends has to be a terrible thing to do.
Phone calls were incredibly hard. I feel like it really hurt her like immediately, and I had to kind of put it on a front, you know, be there for her. Took a little while for me to process my feelings that way too. And we've been so good together in
Like
that
taking
way.
turns. Yeah.
I think that's something you really need in a situation like this.
Just patience and understanding each other.
Mm-hmm. And knowing when somebody needs to hear something or listen to something.
So Jax is 9 when this is going down? 8?
9.
Communication with Jax. How do you go about doing this? What have you, and maybe tell us some things that you know for sure, like that was good, and maybe some of them is like you guys don't know what you're doing, like right, like shit,
Yeah.
like so for future parents who are gonna go through this, like what are some things like like do this or maybe don't do this, because the communication just has to be so hard because
You want to be helpful, but also not lie, right?
right, you want to be honest, but you don't want to just make them terrified.
Yeah. I think with him, because he's autistic, I don't know if you could tell.
I cannot tell at all. No.
That's why he looks up a lot and
Aw.
stuff. But he's logical. So we had to do like with his leg. He hasn't even ever really cried about it. It was just like, you get this done or you die. Like you have to have this done or you die, right? And we do talk about death being a possibility, but I think what I would change is that he felt like the first line chemo was going to work and that was going to be it. And so it was so devastating when we were like, nope, we still have to do more chemo. Or this last time, we still have to do more chemo because he eventually has to start taking a pill again. Like that, I think I wish I would have made that more clear that it could not work.
Yeah. That goes back to the whole tread lightly on the, hope, which is essential. You got to have the hope.
Right, yeah, you got to.
But if you overdo it, you set up expectations.
And I feel like we did on that first
I think we did for not only us, but him as well.
But I do, like, if you're going to make any mistake in this situation, don't you make a mistake on let's be positive and hopeful, like versus the other way?
100%.
I would think anyway.
100%.
Because even now he doesn't know, like they don't think he can be cured, because then why would he want to try, right? Like,
Right.
Or why would he want to
Why
wake
am
up?
I doing this chemo if you're telling me it's not working?
Right. Or like wake up every day and like live. Like,
And I don't, I could be totally wrong, but I mean, attitude and like your mindset is part of healing, maybe with like your attitude towards it.
Yeah.
Is a big deal, I think, for cancer patients, right? And
For
and
sure.
so you want that to be the best it can.
yeah.
But then, like, yeah, if it doesn't go well, you also want him to understand that. And he's so young and innocent, and it's just so unfair. You guys are it's a living hell for you guys.
It is.
What's the communication like with him? Like, what do you think he thinks about his life in terms of, like, what's his perspective on it? If you guys could take a guess.
Fully aware.
Like
he
die.
could have, I think he could have the same exact conversation with you.
And he's like, yeah, I could die.
Yeah.
Well, I have asked him, like, are you scared of, if it doesn't work, are you scared of dying? And he says no. And I was like super emotional. And I'm like, well, why are you not scared? And he said, because there's endless turkey bacon in heaven. So that's where he takes it. So,
one thing that helps me with my stuff is humor. And I feel like he has that too. Like, and I feel like he does it for you guys. Maybe like, I just want them to be okay.
Yeah,
because I know
yeah.
that they're miserable because of
For
my
sure.
situation. And I know Blue does that for me. I'll be having like a tough day, but I think I'm like camouflaging it good enough. And then Blue will come up and hug me and like, I love you. And I'm just like, oh man, like I really needed that.
Yeah.
They can feel
thanks.
it. Like, they can definitely feel it.
Yeah.
That's
And
for
I
sure.
think Blue, it's funny because I say a lot how, and you said this too, like you kind of just put on this act like everything's fine.
Mhm.
And I'm curious. I'm like, I wonder if Blue does that for me sometimes. Like, yeah, I'm fine, Dad. He's like, where's my mom and brother? And like, he's just so confused and sad, but he's so strong for me. We're just like strong for each other. I think it's cool.
I think it's
Yeah.
that. I think they do that because I think our other kids, minus Sophie, I don't think she gets it, but I think our other kids do that too. Like they have to know how serious it is because they know his timeline, and they don't ever show like emotion or anything. So I think they know that we're just barely hanging on. So, but also maybe Blue is so innocent. He's so little that he just
Right.
enjoys life. You know.
True. I mean, I
I
think
hope.
that's part of it too. For
I
sure.
hope it's that. I hope that's best case scenario there. You know, like.
So, are you guys like? What's your day to day like in terms of your thought process with Jax? Are you just waking up like appreciating today that he's alive, or are you just waking up like I hope he's alive, or? And here's the other thing, like you guys know that it's not looking good, but this is something I've learned through podcasting. Is when if it doesn't go well and he passes away, you guys will not be ready. It's going to, yeah, and you guys know it's coming, and that's something that my heart breaks for you guys too. Is like there's nothing that can prepare you, even though a doctor's saying he's got 48 hours. When that 48 hours hits, there's nothing that can prepare you for trauma, and that's one of the things that's so shitty about it.
I'm really scared for it because
I was going to ask you, how scared are you guys? Because I
Well-
was terrified for the first year of my life after the accident.
Oh, I'm scared because like it seems like they choke, like because like essentially his lungs will turn into like bone, and so he's gonna like choke, but he won't be able to breathe. And I'm nervous for like that. You know what I mean? Like him not being like seeing him in
watching
pain.
that.
Yeah, seeing him like not be able to breathe. And I'm also nervous because like I don't want him to die at the hospital, so I know that we're gonna do the hospice thing. Like I want him to be at home. And then what do you do? Like who do you call? Like what happens? They just how soon do they come get him? Like, and then sending off I don't know. I think about this all the time.
I have the thoughts. I have all those same thoughts, but I tend to think more about I won't be able to do this in, we'll say, 2 years with him, whatever I'm doing in that moment, and just really try to lock in with him and just whatever he's got going on in his head, just try to get there. And that's kind of what carries me through the day, honestly.
Just
The fact that this won't be something I can have forever. And it's honestly making me a better parent overall. It just embracing every day with all of my kids. You know, obviously I know the timeline for Jaxen, but everybody's got one.
Yeah, and Maggie, you messaged, and we've been messaging a lot back and forth. And one of the things you said was, "We're all terminally ill. Like we're all gonna die one day."
Yeah.
And it's interesting once you have like you lose someone close to you, how real that gets. Like, yeah, like we're all ticking though, and like I had no clue when my family was their time was up. Like we were healthy and having them like. And I think what we're saying is because of that, you really have to live in the moment day to day. And that's something that you said, Corey. And that's something that I really appreciated and have gotten good at is being in the moment. But then sometimes those moments are shitty, dude. Like yeah. Like I wasn't lying to Jax when I said when I wake up, I think about Jax. And like, I scroll through and he's at school in a wheelchair, just like, smiling. And I'm like, what? Like,
They're
this kid can do
crazy
it.
with that wheelchair. Oh my gosh, they're gonna knock out a kindergartner. I'm so scared. They go so fast. The JJ kid, I'm scared. I don't know, but he loves it. He loves going.
Yeah, no joke. Throughout all of this, he's had so many days where he was sick and like unable to do the things he wanted to do. But if you ask him over the last year, he's had like 3 bad days. And he's had a partial amputation, multiple surgeries. He's had a couple bad days.
Yeah, like what? Like, why are you so happy, Jax?
I know, dude. I'm telling you.
He's like, should I not be happy? Like, no, be happy. But like, what? Like,
how?
And how?
Let me get some of that.
Corey, I like what you said about becoming a better parent. And it's hard when you lose a kid, or in your situation, like in the process of losing a kid, you have other kids, and death, obviously, and grief takes up a lot of time and attention and effort. How do you balance and Ryder seems awesome, by the way. Ryder and Jax are just best buddies.
They are.
But how do you manage being a parent to other kids, or does that get lost on you sometimes, and you kind of realize like, or what's that been like?
Yeah, so I'll be honest. When we started chemo, we both were just like, it's all Jaxen. We're all there. And so we were all, me, her, and Jaxen were all staying up at the hospital, tiny little cot bed, and all of this. And in the moment, it felt like that was the right thing to do, you know? And I don't think I would do it differently. But at a point, I did start to realize, like, I'm missing a bunch of baseball games. I don't know how Sophie's day at school was. Like, and that started to bother me a little bit too. So we've worked together to balance that. Like, if there's a baseball game, but we also have some kind of doctor's appointments, you know, we'll switch off. You know, if she hasn't been to a baseball game in a while, I'll say, go, and I'll take care of all the other stuff, you know.
And then when he relapsed, he had to do 4-day admission. So you would take the first 2. So you would do the, because I still work, you know, and so does he, but he works at night. And so then I would do like the next 2 days. So we would balance it. That way the kids have one parent home at least.
Yeah. No, I think
it's exhausting, but we have to make it happen, you know?
Well, no, because part of grief, like, okay, losing my family, like, I want to do something the rest of my life that I remember them and pay tribute to them and honor them and remember them. But it's like a balancing act, like you're saying, like, I can't be like a 24-hour thing. Like, I can't be grieving over them every second of the day, because I'm not living for Blue and I'm not moving forward with it. You're just kind of dying, if that makes sense. And that's something I've had to learn with grief, is this balancing thing, is like, part of grief is moving forward with it and living life to the fullest and going to the baseball games. And so I think that's really good, is it will just consume you. And if you're not careful, like, it will just consume every second of every day. And finding that, not feeling guilty.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, let's spend some time not about Jax.
Yeah.
And not like, did you feel guilty when you did that?
Oh yeah.
Because I have shame and guilt is a big one for me.
I was going to ask you, like, do you feel guilty just even being happy? That's what I'm scared of too, because going to like Sophie's recitals, I would feel guilty when you were stuck at chemo with him. Like, why am I having a good time with her? You know what I mean?
It's brutal.
Yeah, it is. You can't think of it as a choice. You know, you just got to know that this is what I have to do. You really got to let that push you through a lot of days.
Back to you just hear him down there.
That's all day.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You'd have no idea, like, he's terminally ill.
I turned on there. Sorry.
Yeah, it is getting hot in here.
Getting warm.
What is, like, I did a lot of things. How do I phrase this? I made a lot of maybe poor decisions going through my grief. I know it's not easy to talk about, but what are some things that you guys are doing that maybe not be a good thing while you're handling grief? Maybe are you self-medicating, drinking,
Over drinking, under
like how are you guys coping with this when the doors are closed and people aren't watching, and you can take the mask off? And
Yeah.
like, dude, like when I lost Do you guys just get mad at other families when you see like healthy kids and they're just laughing and you're just like, I want to headbutt all of you guys in the nose and just make you bleed out of the nose. And you just get so mad, like and you can see it. And like, do you guys do that? Like, how do you? I just, ugh.
I did at first. Like somebody would post something happen and be like, whatever.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They would,
Yeah.
but now I
Facebook.
don't. Now I'm like, oh, that's so great. I hope you never have a bad thing. But I was so bitter. Like maybe the first 6 months.
I still struggle sometimes. Like, what are you complaining about over there? Like, please stop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe still there's some people on my timeline that I'm just like, really, that's your biggest worry? That's your freaking like. I just need to. I unfollow.
Yeah, like,
I'm like,
no, you're gone. Yeah.
ugh.
Any happy family picture I saw on Facebook, like, you're gone. You're like, I just was so mad. And I just, like, with you guys, with Jack still being here, even, I feel like it would even be like watching him lose his leg.
That was hard.
Yeah.
Like, you know, at the beginning, though, I was so hopeful and I was like, oh, we're going to survive this, you know. And there was a cancer mom that got diagnosed at the same time and her kid died within like 3 months. Like it was super advanced. And she deleted me and I was all offended. I was like, what the heck? And I get it. Like,
yeah, like your kid's still alive.
Yeah. And we were having good news. Like at that point, like things were still going really good. She probably, and I now hate it too. You know, when I see somebody's treatment working. I mean, like I'm happy for them, but I'm just like, well, what the hell? Like, why not us?
Yeah. I overthought a lot of it. I thought that he would, and he does get a lot of like stares, you know, when he's not wearing his leg or something. And kids will be like, oh, he doesn't have a leg. But it literally doesn't even bother him.
Nope.
And if the other kid was willing to just sit down, he would literally just give him all the facts about his surgery and why it's there and all of that. Like, I haven't seen that affect him once.
Yeah, he came in to school. So he got amputation in September. He came to school for Christmas last year. And a kid made a comment. And Jaxen didn't even acknowledge it, but I was fuming. I was like, oh my, I'm going to get fired.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to say something.
What was the comment? Can you say it?
He was like, what do you want for Christmas, Jax? Your leg? And I was, you know what? I had some very good comebacks.
And
or not for an 8-year-old.
His older brother, I don't know. I guess this is technically bullying. It was really just BS. But some kid was like, at least my brother doesn't have cancer or something like that.
Yeah.
This is in middle school. So there was a bunch of, bullying back and forth after that. It was a rough day. But I just couldn't believe that kids that old are even still like, what is that?
So now we have like a personal grudge against the 13U baseball team.
I hope they lose so bad.
They are so terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that the bargaining. You guys do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but neither side has answered. So
You guys still do that? You still in that stage? Are you kind of done with that one? Corey, you look to be done with that
Yeah,
one.
I'm done with the bargaining.
He's not
I don't
religious at all. I feel like I was mid. I tried to bargain on both sides. Neither responded. So we're just at, I guess, acceptance now. Ish.
I hate acceptance.
Me too.
But like the thing I learned with acceptance is like you could be in acceptance on Tuesday, but not on Wednesday. You're not. Like it's not
feel
permanent. I thought it was like a permanent thing. Like, oh, he's reached acceptance. Like, no, like
I felt
there's
that
many
today.
days I wake up and like I'm not like I can't do this today. I'm not accepting this bullshit.
Yeah, I felt that today at recess. I had some kids making pterodactyl sounds like running around, and that's kind of stuff he used to do. And I was bitter. I was super bitter.
Yeah.
Not that it's their fault, obviously, but you know what I mean? Like,
it's almost like a mindset. Every morning you wake up with a slightly different one,
yeah.
Some days you're okay with where you're at and others you're still mad.
Yeah.
It's about what you do.
What we do is drink. And drink some more.
Go to Disneyland and drink.
And
there
get
you
drunk
go.
there, too.
Yeah, I used to wake up and just whiskey or I'd get Blue to school if he had school, and then just whiskey. Set my alarm until I had to pick him up and numb that thing.
I should say we do it responsibly. Like,
Hey, no judgment.
like,
Yeah,
literally only at nighttime when Jackson's like not on treatments,
Oh, I
stuff
should
like
say
like
that too.
we don't have a possibility of like having to wake up and go to the hospital in the middle of the night or anything like that.
My
And
boss is listening. I just wanted her to know that I don't teach drunk.
That
Brenda, it is
too.
definitely coffee in my tumbler and not alcohol.
But don't check.
Please don't.
Is it like, sorry, I just have random questions pop in my head, but like, you teach kids all day. Does that add to it?
It's hard because
Like,
that's
I'm
the age
teaching
you want.
26 healthy kids today that have a healthy future. Like, ugh.
Well, this year I have a cancer survivor as
Aw.
a kid. And he also had a sarcoma, and so he's my. But no one knows. His parents told me, and he told me. But I've got a special spot for him. But yeah, it's hard because he was in third grade. He had just finished third grade when he got diagnosed.
Yeah.
So he, was rotating in and out of my class, and these kids are the same age. And every time they're like, "Oh, my leg hurts," I just spiral. Just
Yeah.
it's hard. Not because they're healthy, but because it's scary. Because if you think about the statistics, I think it's like 1 in 285 kids gets cancer, and that's quite a bit for how many kids I have in a year. I'm gonna end up having cancer kids, and it's gonna kill me to see them go through something like that.
Yeah, that number is staggering.
Yeah.
I didn't know how high it was until I started podcasting and
Yeah.
met people like you and the Whatcotts and others, and it's like, whoa, like, yeah, you just, if it's not your family, it's just kind of out of sight, out of mind. At least it was for me for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
And they say it's so rare, but like for osteosarcoma alone, we know 6 local kids. And that's crazy.
Yeah,
And that's not even including Nixon.
it's like one's too much. And yeah. It's a 1090 podcast, so we try to shift to the 90% eventually. Do you guys have a 90% yet? Or is it just you guys are waiting for the shoe to drop or you're not doing good and it's just kind of 10%? Or what do we got going on?
No, I'm like making moves.
See, good for you. I would be I don't know what I'd do for you guys. I'd be so mad.
I've been trying to change laws. So I met with I can't even think of his name right now, but we got trained and we met with it's like the person right underneath Burgess Owens.
Yeah.
And he does all of the allocating money and stuff like that. So we met with him about like where we wanted funds and what support we needed with cancer bills. And so we've done that. Fundraising for osteosarcoma and for treatments,
Are you guys still doing fundraising?
Not for, kind of for ourselves, but mostly it's been for like the Osteo Institute and stuff like that to like help get trials going. But eventually we might have to do it again for ourselves because every time I try and get a second opinion, it's like $1,100. I'm just like, can't believe how much they charge you to try and stay alive.
Yeah, it's gross actually. What I wanted to ask you because I'm like a big fan of both. Like things can coexist together. I think I've learned that. That's one of the other things I've learned through grief. And so like with you and Corey, I don't know where you're at, but like Maggie, part of you kind of knows like he has a year and then he's gonna pass away. But then another part of you is like, we have hope. Let's keep looking and searching and finding, and maybe we get that miracle.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have that hope.
For sure, because there's just so many people that I know that are like, oh, I had, 10 surgeries. I had like a surgery every year for a while getting nodules out.
And so the number one way to help that hope, would that be donating money to what you guys are doing? Or how does someone help?
Yeah, or if if somebody's a sarcoma parent and they have some kind of trial that we don't know about, that'd be awesome to
Well, we can definitely, when we post the episode, we can definitely post that.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
see if we can get more
info
on it. Corey, what about you? You're
still hopeful. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I just don't do the bargaining thing so much. I am very hopeful that we'll find some kind of medication, immunotherapy or something that will, get the job done. I just don't do the bargaining thing anymore.
Kind of like realizing what's in your control, maybe.
Exactly.
And that's another thing too. Is like, okay, all this stuff that eats up my time and makes me miserable, I can't even control. And and that's part of acceptance too. That's the healthy part of acceptance. Is like, okay, here's things that you can impact. Like you can raise money, you can do these things that you're doing. But yeah, there's only so much you can do.
And I mean, it realistically probably won't help my kid survive, these things, changing laws and fundraising for trials and stuff. But if somebody else can get a cure and not have to go through this, that's worth it. You know what I mean?
I love that. You guys are good people. I'm so sorry. This is so dumb. You guys ever think like this is a joke?
It's a joke, dude. I wake up every morning thinking this has got to be a joke.
They're like, this life's a joke.
Terrible.
You know what? I was like the shittiest teenager. Like I was awful, and I don't get cancer.
Seriously.
Like,
my time was up a long time ago.
Yeah, I think of that all the time. Like,
yeah.
And babe, you were great, but you were also trouble. Like we were just not great people in high school. And how is it that the sweet kid is the one having this? Like I don't understand.
Doesn't make sense.
And babies have cancer up there. That's just insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't seem right.
No.
A lot of it doesn't make sense, and it isn't right.
And for a long time, I thought like, oh man, I'm being punished for not believing in God. It's got to be like he's punishing me. But then we met like really, really, really religious people who are great, and their kids died too. So
yeah, it has absolutely nothing to do with that.
I know. I think you just try to rationalize it.
Yeah,
you do.
It's a coping mechanism.
You spend all day thinking about it, and you end up either thinking it's your fault, or I think that's what a lot of people do, or like, yeah, some third party like a god or someone else that gets involved. But yeah. Before we get to the movies to end the podcast, I kind of asked it just barely, but anything like this 90% things you guys have learned, taken away from this. I know Corey talked a little bit about how it's made him a better parent.
Yeah.
But like, what's your your 90% is gonna change and evolve as you go through this thing. But like so far, can you give us any other words of wisdom or things that have helped you guys in your relationship, or just the different perspective that you have on life now, maybe?
In our relationship, I feel like we had a really good relationship before. I think it's made us closer, for sure.
Yeah.
So that's like a positive, As a teacher, I literally am way more compassionate than my first year. Like the first year as a teacher, I was just like, these kids are awful. Like they don't listen, they don't do anything. And now it's like, I try to rationalize like, well, they probably have trauma, from some kind of trauma, like something going on at home. And I try to be like there for them. Do you know what I mean? And I think maybe a lot of teachers lack that because they don't live things like this. But I have noticed that the best teachers at my school are people with trauma that have lost their families and stuff. So it's made me maybe a better person. Maybe. So for most of for most of the time.
Yeah. You're an amazing teacher, by the way.
Well, thank you.
So.
But I was a mean teacher too, and I feel like
they
that's
still
changed.
loved you.
That's true.
You were still a favorite for some reason.
Yeah.
But they still loved you. Yeah. Corey, what about you? Any other 90% you can throw out there?
Just stick with the positive stuff. Try not to dwell too much on the things you can't.
What are some positive things you think about, like your other kids?
Yeah. Basically look at my kids all the time, and it's just a positive thing in itself, Yeah. They could be doing anything. Sometimes I'll just have my daughter come in and ask her to tickle my back or something, and she'll just argue about why she shouldn't have to do that. And that to me is fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's one of those little moments where it's probably never going to stick to anybody's memory. But now with my new mindset, all of them are sticking.
Yeah.
I'm remembering all of the little things that I'm doing with my kids and my wife and my family.
Yeah.
It's a terrible situation, but I will say it's given me a lot of insight on how I should perceive things. not, as
And I-
opposed to how I was.
I feel like you were also really, and you are, but like introverted, and like family gatherings were like it would make Corey stress. But now you like are okay with like movie in the park because like we know how quickly things can change, and then you won't have that. You know what I mean? You won't have that memory. So that's what it seemed like, at least with you, that you've changed your mind a bit about that.
Yeah. Family is everything.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I thought about that at all very much up until the point where I was having these kinds of situations.
Seriously, like before all this, our biggest issues were like baby daddy, baby mama drama for years. That was it. That was like,
And that seemed bad, and now that
Yeah.
mission
Yeah,
is like,
again,
wow.
it's so trivial. Like, what the heck
Yeah.
was that?
yeah. And now it's like, I would take that back,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Maggie, I went through that phase too of like I used to want to like give everyone bloody noses, right? Like I talked about earlier. And then I like, oh, like everyone's going through trauma actually. We're all hurting type of thing. So like the ebbs and flows of being really sympathetic. Like I'm way more sympathetic than I used to be, and I love who I am now because of it, but then sometimes I'm mad and it's not good. And I think your life just becomes so inconsistent. You can't. That's another thing I lack is I used to be consistent, and now I'm just all over the place. But anything else you guys want to mention before we get into? Are you guys movie people? I hope you are.
I've been watching them my whole life. In fact,
I've been waiting for someone to ask me. I talked to. Anything else you want to mention though before we dive into movies and we get you out of here?
Yeah, there's only 4% funding for childhood cancer. So if you can pick a cancer for a kid, donate to the trials.
What
Yeah, where did-
organizations do you think are the best?
What organization?
St. Baldrick's altogether. I was going to say St. Jude's, but recently I've decided that that's not the case because they only take you if they want to. But St. Baldrick's is a good one. Osteo Institute's a really good one. And MIB Agents is a really good one too.
So like I have money to that I want to donate to help you guys. What should I do? What's the best way to help you? Do I give it to you guys? Do I give it to what do I do? What's the quickest, straightforward, best way to do it?
Well, to help us directly, it would be probably to for us because we're trying to get the second opinions and stuff. And
Yeah, you guys have to travel and stuff. Is that what I saw? Like going
Yeah.
to Florida, maybe?
we're going to have to travel for sure because it just doesn't seem like they do many virtual ones. And if they do, it's like $1,100, and they're like, oh, you don't meet with the doctor, you meet with the nurse practitioner, and that doesn't seem like it's worth it at all. So we're going to have to travel probably to like Philly. Hopefully not.
Catch an Eagles game.
that's what I'm pulling for Philly. There's a lot of options, but I'm pulling for Philly.
There you go.
Yeah. And so, but if you wanted to help just all together cancer kids, St. Baldrick's, because I feel like they have trials going for all of the cancers. So that's a really good one.
You said it was 1,100 to meet with a nurse practitioner.
Yeah, at
Isn't that
CHOP,
ridiculous?
at the Philly one, actually. Because I guess they
Just have a conversation.
because they can't give you their laws say that like their doctors can't give legal advice over telehealth to Utah. So then they would review his stuff, tell this nurse practitioner, and she would meet with me. So technically it's not a doctor giving me advice, it would be her relaying it. And that just doesn't seem like it's worth it. Like,
They make it really hard.
and the same thing with like Memorial Sloan Kettering, which is like the other big hospital in New York. They said the same thing. It's $450. Your doctor has to be online, and it's not like our doctor. It's the nurse practitioner. And I'm like, okay, well, sounds.
Corey, you just cracked me up. You're a guy's guy.
A little bit.
It's really hard.
It's hard, okay?
Maggie's like giving the ins and outs,
Yeah.
and it's really hard.
We
okay?
work though,
it's
right?
super hard, in fact.
Like you're like the emotional support for Jax, and I'm over here like
Oh,
the first time he relapsed, I didn't even sleep. When we got on the phone with the oncologist, I had like plan A, B, and C and D, and I had all of these drugs, and he was like, I haven't even thought about this. I was like, well, I thought about it for you, so like, but you were there cheering me
no,
on.
she's an all-star. Like 100%. Any studies, anything like that, she has looked into it, figured out if it's a possibility for us. I'm just playing Goat Simulator with Jackson.
Get those guys over there, run them over here.
Buying him talkies through DoorDash.
Seriously though, and both of them are just as important. Trust me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like so many days up at the hospital, like I can't imagine how boring it could have been for Jackson, but we did everything possible to make sure it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
tough.
I mean, I asked him, like, what's one of your favorite memories? And he picked a hospital moment.
Yeah.
So as miserable as it was, that's pretty cool that he said that.
Yeah.
They get so
It
weird.
is.
Like
Made
when
me
I
feel
get
good.
there on the third day and they've been alone, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can hear them in the hallway. They're just doing the weirdest, making accents. Like you guys are. I've had to tell him, like, dude, you can't do that at school because that could be considered racist. You cannot do that accent. And he's like, why?
We're voice actors.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
what he
love
said.
that. That was great. You guys are like, I was so, I mean, I get nervous for every podcast, but I was extra nervous for this one. Just talking to a 10-year-old and the condition he's in was just scary. Like, I was hoping it would go well. And then talking to you guys, but you guys are so down to earth. And for the hell you're going through, just, I don't know if you're putting on the front again, Corey, but like, just very humble, nice people that I think you're handling it the best way you can. Like, what else do you do?
Yeah.
So, heartbreaks for you guys, but thanks for coming on. I think it's going to help a lot of people because unfortunately, like we said, like it's not as rare as you think. A lot of parents and kids are unfortunately dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that at your workshop there was a couple of cancer parents?
Yeah, because we reached out to the Whatcotts and because they work with a lot of parents with cancer kids, and so we invited them. Like, if you have anyone that would like to come,
Yeah.
please invite them. And the Whatcotts are so nice. I think they paid for them to go even.
They're amazing.
And yeah, and I talked to some of them, and I'm like, oh, you should go talk to Maggie and Corey because they're going. I don't know if anyone talked to you, but
Like afterwards, one of the moms was like, I didn't want to creep you out. I'm like, it's
They're-
not creepy. It's
I
fine.
mean, honestly, people who showed up to the event, like, there are people in that room that are going through very different, but the extreme of the worst things. Like,
yeah.
and so it was a cool room, and yeah, hopefully, if it was mostly for me, I had some things I needed to say, and so I'm glad I said them. But
I feel like it was super.
it was
Yeah.
cool that people
Awesome.
came. So
If you have another one, you let us know because
I
I
think I wanna
have
do
so
one
many
every-
moms that would want to come.
I think I want to do one every year in honor of them, and then just donate the money to someone or a cause or something. But yeah, okay, movies. Who's
Okay.
going first?
I don't even know how I would do a top 3, so give me a second.
We have to start with your third too. So 3, 2, 1.
Oh, so it's actually numbered 2.
And then also, Corey,
Yeah.
if you pick like Pirates of the Caribbean, you get all the movies. That's just one, but you'd get all those.
Oh, okay.
So that might
One
change
thing.
things.
Mhm.
Like my buddy Sam, he used to pick Fast and the Furious because he got like 17 movies.
yeah, yeah.
I know.
might be on her
I'm
list.
such a. I love Vin Diesel. I am such a.
Yeah.
We'll go with that for 3.
Fast and the Furious.
Fast and the Furious,
There you
and
go.
then we're gonna go Scream, all of them,
Ooh, yeah, okay.
and then
There's lots of screams too.
but I get them all right.
Yeah.
Okay, but the original 3 are my fave,
Yeah, the first one's the best.
and then I guess the Jenna one's okay too. All the Michael Myers.
I didn't know you were you're a horror girl. Yeah.
That's where he gets it from. Yeah, no, all the Michael Myers except the Rob Zombie second movie. That one, I don't know about the white pony horse. I have no idea why that came in there. I'm not okay with it.
What's that other Rob Zombie one? The Hell's
Oh,
the
House of a Thousand Corpses.
that one is scary.
And there's another one.
31 from hell or something?
No, it has Dwight. They make him into Dwight from The Office. He's like a fish.
Oh, shoot.
A fish?
Yeah, they kill him and make him into a fish.
I have no idea
They
what
do
this-
some wild stuff in those movies.
Devil's Rejects.
They did Dwight.
That's the one I was
That's the
thinking of.
one,
That
That's
is-
the one I saw. I didn't know they made Dwight a fish in that movie.
Yeah.
And there's a newer one called 31. I have no idea what it's about.
Haven't seen that one.
I remember watching Devil's Rejects, like the motel scene. I just kind of walked in on it and like, what am I watching?
Mhm.
I was like
That's a creepy
younger kid.
One. Those are good. ones.
Doesn't he have that Leonard Skinner song in that movie? Freebird? when it kicks on?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
That movie's. I need to watch that maybe.
And all
Alright.
the Michael Myers.
Okay.
Okay.
All the Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Corey, what do you got?
Okay. So I'm gonna have to go with Space Jam at 3.
The original with Mike.
The original. No, I don't even want to talk about.
Yeah,
the
I
new.
like.
I'm a
your style.
LeBron guy, but I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I
movie.
watched Space Jam and Air Bud every day as a little kid.
Me too.
Yeah.
Those are great movies.
Mm-hmm.
Airbud?
Don't judge me. But
No, I'm
yeah.
not. That's my classroom movies
yeah.
are Air. There's like 7.
Like a dog that can shoot jays. Like
Come
I
on
want
now.
an Air Bud.
But he can do everything. There's
and
like
now he
literally
can catch touchdowns.
everything.
Yeah, it got a little out of hand. Got a little unrealistic later.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line too.
Like he can shoot jays, but he's not hitting fastballs.
No. Number 2 is probably SLC Punk. Anybody ever seen that one?
SLC Punk.
Yeah.
Never heard of this.
It's got Matthew Lillard
From Scream, the killer. From the first
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Shaggy from
Oh, yeah.
Scooby Doo.
I guess if you're
I
normal.
like that actor.
Yeah, he's pretty good. It was when he was really young.
He's in the show Bad Moms or what
Good
the hell
Girls.
is- Good Girls, where they
Yeah.
rob or they're
I love
doing
that
something.
show.
Anyway, sorry, keep going.
And then I would go with just the Goblet of Fire, but I guess Harry Potter.
You get all of them then.
Yeah.
You copied
Goblet
me.
of Fire
That's
is the best
mine.
one.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
No, you were an Azkaban guy. You're copying me.
When we're talking about the books, I like Azkaban.
Okay.
But we're talking about
I guess that's
movies, Triwizard Tournament and all that.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm not a Harry Potter guy. I don't know.
Have you seen them?
The
I-
Harry Potter
I
logic
think
is
I've
kinda-
seen one Harry Potter movie, maybe.
Oh, you gotta watch them with Blue.
Yeah, maybe Blue will like
It's a rite of passage. Like you have to.
it.
I don't know. I think the younger kids, it's kind of past them now.
Nope. My whole classroom is
Nope.
Harry Potter,
Nope.
and we read the first one, and you're wrong. You're wrong.
Remember the stage of denial is power. No.
Hey, they love that first one. Sometimes the second one, there's a snake in that one, so
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
Have you guys seen Deadpool Wolverine yet?
Mm-mm.
I
Is that the new one?
I haven't seen it either.
No, not the new one yet.
Keep hearing good things though.
Yeah, I need to get out there and see it.
I like him.
What was your second movie?
SLC Punk.
SLC.
And it's literally about a punk here in Salt Lake City in like the 90s. I want to say early 90s. It's
Super
something
funny,
else.
actually.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. Not for the kids.
Not for the kids.
Yeah.
Like my other 2.
Yeah. Sorry for the Kill Bill reference. I hope
I
that-
like
No,
it.
he made Ryder watch Dumb and Dumber, and there were some. I don't remember it being.
I mean,
like
Kill
that,
Bill is a
you know?
little spicier than Dumb and
Yeah, quite a bit. Isn't it a Tarantino thing?
I know, but
When
there's
she
a lot of
fights the
sexual
crazy
innuendos,
88s,
you know.
like it's crazy.
I let him watch Mean Girls and Sophie, and she's 8, and then I was like, oh my god.
Mean Girls is a class. She doesn't even go here.
But then there's so many like sex references, and I was like, were they there all the time?
I have a
don't remember
wide
it.
base vagina.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I love it.
Yeah, so mom fell on that one.
Well, I'm glad we're able to end on some laughs because, yeah, we need that.
Yeah,
For sure.
for sure.
You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming on. And life's 10% what happens to you and 90% what you're going to do about it.